Here, in a bustling market in Marrakech, a visitor from Japan stands before a stall. It's honestly a kaleidoscope of color and sound. Spices rise in fragrant pyramids. The merchant speaks, his words a rapid, melodic stream of Arabic. The visitor does not understand the language, yet she smiles. She holds up a small device, a simple earpiece. Through it, the merchant's voice is transformed, not into cold, robotic text, but into a gentle, clear Japanese translation. A negotiation begins, a shared moment of understanding made possible not by years of study, but by a remarkable new intelligence. This is a scene that, only a short time ago, would have belonged to the realm of science fiction. For millennia, language has been both our greatest achievement and our most profound barrier. It allows us to build societies, share knowledge, and express love. But it also divides us, creating walls of misunderstanding between cultures. We have long dreamed of a universal key, a way to unlock the world's many tongues. Now, it seems, that dream is finally taking shape, carried on the invisible currents of artificial intelligence. We are witnessing a quiet revolution, one that is happening in the palm of our hands and the whisper of an earpiece. It's a revolution in connection, the ability to understand and be understood, instantly, by anyone, anywhere on our planet. This is not merely a technological trick, it's a fundamental shift in how we, as a species, can interact. It offers the chance to dissolve the ancient barriers that have separated us for so long, and to see each other not as strangers, but simply as fellow inhabitants of this extraordinary world. The implications are truly vast. Imagine a doctor in a remote village, able to understand the symptoms of a patient who speaks a rare dialect, or a student in a classroom, listening to a lecture from a professor halfway across the world as if they were in the same room. This technology promises to democratize knowledge, foster collaboration, and build bridges of empathy where once there were gulfs of silence. The world, in a very real sense, is becoming a smaller, more intimate place, all thanks to these intricate digital minds. For centuries, the act of translation was a painstaking, human endeavor. It was the slow, meticulous work of scholars and linguists. They would spend lifetimes poring over dictionaries and grammar books, attempting to carry meaning from one vessel to another. Each word was weighed, each phrase considered, in a process that was as much an art as it was a science. The goal was to capture not just the literal definition, but the spirit, the poetry, the very soul of the original text. It was a noble but incredibly slow process. Then came the first computers. Early attempts at machine translation were rigid and clumsy. They followed simple rule-based systems, swapping words one for one, like a child with a bilingual dictionary. The results were often nonsensical, lacking any grasp of grammar, context, or idiom. A phrase like "the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak" might become something utterly baffling. These early machines could not understand that language is more than a collection of words. It is a living, breathing ecosystem of meaning. The true breakthrough came with a new kind of thinking, inspired by the very workings of our own brains. Scientists developed what they called neural networks. These are complex, layered systems of artificial neurons that can learn from vast amounts of information. Instead of being programmed with rigid rules, they are shown millions of examples of translated texts. They begin to see patterns, to understand the intricate relationships between words and phrases, and to learn the subtle dance of grammar and syntax on their own. It was this leap that changed everything. Neural machine translation, or NMT, was born. Suddenly, translations became more fluid, more natural, more human. The machines were no longer just swapping words, they were interpreting context. They could distinguish between a fly as an insect and to fly as an action. This ability to learn and adapt, much like a living organism, marked the dawn of a new era. The long, slow journey from word to meaning was about to accelerate beyond all imagination. The magic of real-time translation unfolds in a breathtakingly swift, three-step dance. It all happens in less than the time it takes to blink an eye. The first step is listening. A microphone, perhaps in a phone or an earpiece, captures the sound of a human voice. The technology must instantly filter out background noise, the clatter of a cafe, the wind on a street corner, to isolate the spoken words. This raw sound, a wave of vibrations in the air, is then converted into digital text, a process known as speech-to-text. Once the words exist as text, the second and most crucial step begins: translation. This is where the neural network performs its remarkable feat. The system does not translate word by word. Instead, it analyzes the entire sentence, or even a whole string of sentences, to understand the context. It looks for the underlying meaning, the intent behind the words. Giants of the technology world, like Google, OpenAI, and Meta, have trained these networks on a truly planetary scale, feeding them nearly the entire public library of the internet in multiple languages. The third and final step is to give the translation a voice. The newly translated text is sent to a text-to-speech engine, but this is not the monotonous, robotic voice of old. Modern systems are designed to sound astonishingly human. They can replicate tone, inflection, and even the natural pauses of speech. Some advanced systems can even capture a sense of the original speaker's emotion or vocal style, making the translated voice feel more personal and authentic. The result is a seamless flow of communication, where one language enters and another, just as natural, emerges. This entire intricate process, listening, understanding, and speaking again, is a symphony of complex algorithms. It demands immense computational power, yet it has been miniaturized to fit within the devices we carry every day. It is a testament to how far we have come. The journey from sound wave to meaningful speech, once the exclusive domain of the human brain, is now being mirrored by our own creations. This silent, lightning-fast dance is what allows two people, from two different worlds, to share a single conversation. In the world of international business, time and clarity are paramount. A single misunderstanding can unravel a crucial deal. Today, real-time translation is transforming boardrooms and factory floors. A CEO in Germany can negotiate directly with a supplier in South Korea, each speaking their native tongue, with an AI acting as an invisible instant interpreter. This removes the delays and potential inaccuracies of human interpretation, fostering smoother collaboration and opening up global markets to even the smallest of businesses. It levels the playing field, allowing talent and ideas to flow freely across borders. Education, too, is entering a new, more inclusive era. For the first time, a student in rural India can access a live lecture from a Nobel laureate at a university in America, understanding every word in their own language. Knowledge is no longer locked away behind linguistic barriers. This technology empowers students to learn from the world's best minds, regardless of where they were born. It also allows for incredible cross-cultural projects, where children from different countries can work together, share their perspectives, and learn from one another directly. For the traveler, the world has become a far more welcoming place. The anxiety of navigating a foreign country, of trying to read a train schedule, order a meal, or ask for directions, is melting away. With a simple application on a phone, a tourist can confidently explore bustling city streets and remote villages. This fosters a deeper, more authentic travel experience. It encourages interaction not just with tour guides, but with local artisans, shopkeepers, and everyday people, leading to richer cultural exchanges and a greater appreciation for the diversity of our planet. These are not future possibilities, they are happening right now. From emergency services understanding a caller in distress, to families reconnecting with relatives who speak a different ancestral language, the applications are as varied as human experience itself. AI translation is quietly becoming an essential utility, a tool that enhances safety, broadens horizons, and strengthens the bonds between us. It is writing a new chapter for human connection, one conversation at a time. The greatest achievement in this field, and its most profound challenge, is the quest to understand more than just words. Language is a carrier of emotion, culture, and subtle intent. The difference between "I'm fine" spoken with a smile and "I'm fine" spoken with a heavy sigh is immense. Early translation systems were deaf to this nuance. They were literalists, unable to read between the lines. The true frontier for AI is not just to translate what is said, but to understand what is meant. Modern neural networks are now being trained to recognize and even replicate these subtleties. They analyze the tone of a voice, its pitch, its cadence, its volume, to gauge the speaker's emotional state. Is the person happy, angry, sarcastic, or sad? This is an incredibly complex task, as emotional expression varies greatly across cultures. Yet, the AI is learning. The goal is to create translations that carry the same emotional weight as the original speech, ensuring that a joke lands as a joke, and a serious warning is received with the gravity it deserves. This involves creating what are known as voice-preserving translation systems. Innovators at companies like Meta are developing AI that can translate speech while retaining the unique vocal characteristics of the original speaker. Imagine hearing a loved one speak a foreign language, but instantly understanding it in your own, all while still hearing the familiar and cherished sound of their voice. This makes the interaction feel far more personal and authentic, bridging the emotional distance that a generic, synthetic voice can create. The results we are beginning to see are quite astonishing. In controlled tests, these advanced systems are achieving accuracy rates that rival, and in some cases exceed, those of professional human translators for specific tasks. They can process information at a speed no human could ever match. This combination of speed, accuracy, and a growing emotional intelligence is what makes this technology so revolutionary. It is moving beyond simple utility and becoming a true medium for empathetic and nuanced communication. The power of this technology is now spreading, much like a vital nutrient, throughout our digital ecosystem. It is no longer confined to specialized websites or bulky equipment. It is being woven directly into the fabric of our daily lives. On our smartphones, simple apps can now listen to a conversation and display a real-time translation on the screen, turning our devices into universal translators straight out of science fiction. The technology is becoming accessible to all. We see it emerging in our homes, through smart speakers and displays. One can ask a question in one language and receive an answer in another, making households with multiple languages feel more connected. But perhaps the most personal and seamless integration is through earphones. These small, discrete devices allow for a natural, face-to-face conversation. One person speaks, and the other hears the translation directly in their ear, creating an experience that feels almost like telepathy. It removes the screen, allowing people to look each other in the eye as they communicate. This new wave of accessibility opens up extraordinary opportunities for global understanding. Scientific collaboration could accelerate as researchers from around the world share their findings without the friction of language. International diplomacy could become more direct and less prone to the misinterpretations that can arise from third-party translation. For countless immigrant and refugee communities, it offers a vital lifeline, helping them navigate new societies, access essential services, and connect with their neighbors while preserving their own linguistic heritage. The promise is a world where language is no longer a barrier to opportunity, friendship, or understanding. It is a world where a child in one country can form a genuine friendship with a child in another, sharing stories and dreams in real time. This technology has the potential to foster a new kind of global citizenship, one founded on direct communication and shared human experience. It brings us closer to the ancient dream of a world that, despite its many voices, speaks with a single, unified heart. As we stand on the cusp of this new, interconnected world, we must proceed with both wonder and wisdom. For every magnificent opportunity this technology presents, there are also significant risks that demand our attention. The very process of real-time translation requires our voices, our intimate conversations, our business deals, our personal moments, to be sent to distant servers and processed by complex algorithms. This raises profound questions about privacy and data security. Who is listening to our conversations, and how is that data being used? There is also the risk of misuse. Imagine a world where this technology could be used to create convincing but fake audio, to manipulate a conversation, or to spread misinformation with the authentic-sounding voice of a trusted leader. The same tools that can build bridges of understanding could, in the wrong hands, be used to sow division and mistrust. Ensuring the security and ethical use of these systems is not just a technical challenge, it is a moral imperative for our global society. Furthermore, we must be mindful of what can be lost in translation. Even the most advanced AI can struggle with the deepest layers of human communication: irony, poetry, cultural humor, and spiritual concepts. There is a danger that in our rush for seamless communication, we might flatten the beautiful, complex textures of our diverse languages. We must remember that this technology is a tool, a powerful one, but it is not a substitute for the deep, patient effort of truly learning about another culture from the inside. AI-powered translation is undoubtedly one of the most hopeful technologies of our time. It holds the potential to bring humanity closer together than ever before, to foster empathy, and to help us solve our shared challenges as one planetary community. But like any powerful force of nature, it must be handled with respect and care. Our future will be shaped not just by the brilliance of these artificial minds, but by the human wisdom we use to guide them. It is our shared responsibility to ensure that this remarkable gift is used to unite our world, not to divide it.